early morning, the shadow of the steeple by the relief office, I saw my people as they stood there hungry, stood there wondering. This land was made for you and me. That's good enough for now. Woody Guthrie's son, Arlo, the folk singer Arlo, said some really amazing things about how Shakespearean his father's life was, like as if it was something that only Shakespeare could write. My dad, back then, he built a 6-room house, cost about $7,000-8,000. Supposed to be one of the biggest and finest houses in that whole country. The day after he got the house built, it burnt down. And then when he was little, his older sister, Clara, caught fire on a kerosene stove.
Hello there, old Mr. Woodley. Hello, Claire. Someone's crying in there, Woodley. Papa's in there with his head down crying. I seen him. Mama's in the dining room, crying her eyes out. I know. But even Roy cried, and he's just a big old tough boy. Woodley, don't you cry. Promise me that you won't ever cry.
The death of his sister led to his mother's psychological deterioration, and after that she threw a kerosene lamp on her husband. And now for the news. Pioneer real estate man painfully burned. At about 8:30 on Saturday evening, Mr. Guthrie was seen to run from the front door of his East Okema residence, seemingly ablaze from head to foot. It is reported as evident that kerosene was poured on Mr. Guthrie, and the rumors are many. In Woody's second marriage, his 4-year-old daughter caught fire, an electrical fire, apparently from sparks off of a radio, while his wife was just going across the street to buy some oranges, as the story goes. Kathy died calling out in funny ways all the names of folks, friends, kids, teachers, etc. that she had seen in her 4 big years. So each element of fire not only had sort of a tragic effect, but sort of marks a signpost in his life, turning point in his life, whether it was a family breaking up, whether it was the loss of his will to live, or the loss of his will to engage as a musician.
We got word from Oklahoma this week. My mother died.
Woody, I'm sorry.
They say disease runs in the family.
Does that mean that you could get it?
Ow. No way I'm gonna get that disease.
Woody Guthrie was afflicted with Huntington's chorea. It's a genetic disease that was passed down to him through his mother, who also had it and who died in an insane asylum in Oklahoma. It's a degenerative disease and a progressive disease that destroys certain cells in the brain and causes people to lose control of their physical, their bodily motions, their muscles, and also creates mental, emotional disturbances and quite severe depression. Her face would twitch, her lips would snarl, and her teeth would show. She'd start out in a low, grumbling voice and then get to talking as loud as her throat could stand it. Her arms would draw up at her sides, behind her back, and swing in all kind of curves. But I think what's interesting with Woody is how he managed to deal with it. That he did. At first, he raged against it, and then I think he found some sort of acceptance with it. And, he felt that, well, it could be worse. I could have a disease that was more painful.
I guess you want to see what happens next. What do you do here all day? Just think about the past? Do you worry about the future? Memories, I suppose, are enough to keep him going.
Well, Woody was very progressive as far as race relations were concerned, and his belief just in basic human equality. And I think what's really interesting about that is that he came from a pretty racist part of the world.
Now, the population of the people that live there right now is about a quarter Indian, 1/4 Negro, and half white. What do all those people mix on pretty equal terms or not? How's it go? No, not what I'd call equal. There's been a lot of shooting, scrapes, and fights, and anyway, there's some crazy way they got looking at the colored situation.
When Woody finally left Okima and went to California, he got a job on a radio show, KFVD radio, and he sang a song on that show one day called the Nigger Blues. Now, folks, last week I played a song on the radio called the Nigger Blues. I got a letter from a Negro gentleman who was, rightly I think, offended by my use of that word. Now, folks, I got that song right here. I want you to listen. All right. So I think what's really interesting about him is that his ability to learn and change, and that sort of teaches us that we can all grow, we can all change, we can all evolve as our life goes on. After that Grapes of Wrath benefit, I stayed for a while with the legendary blues singer Leadbelly and his wife Martha. Well, they welcomed me into their home like I was part of the family. I saw Leadbelly get up in this morning and wash, shave, put on his bathrobe, tune up that big 12-string Stella guitar. I woke up this morning and the blues was falling down like the midnight rain. See, the blues is like this. You lay down in your bed one night and you just toss from one side of that bed to the other all night long. Now, it's not too hot in that bed and ain't too cold. Well, what's the matter? The blues has got you. They want to talk to you. Studying Woody as an artist is sort of like taking a class on how to be an artist. Because he was just, what's the word? He was so aggressively creative. I mean, he just wrote every day. He'd be over at someone's house and he'd pound out 20 pages on a typewriter and just toss it in the dustbin, the next morning. He left behind tens of thousands of pages of prose. He wrote 2 full autobiographical novels. He wrote over 3,000 songs. People are still recording songs of his that he left behind. So in that sense, his art is still really alive and really current.
I last visited Woody on October the 2nd, 1967. He was still a whole person, but this person was dying, and he knew it. Next day, 15 years after he checked himself into the hospital, the shaking stopped. Why, oh why, oh why, oh why, why, oh why? Because,